Hey, what's up guys? It's Ben with Kame Trick, and we're back with another live stream. Kame Trick is a channel that bridges the gap between sim drifting and real life drifting. Here we do both, and we've got a good crew of people who do both as well, or are at least heavily involved in one or the other. So if you want to hang with us, feel free to hit subscribe, like the videos, and check out the Discord, especially if you want to get into sim drifting. We got a lot of experts in there who can help you out. Today we're back with a regular live stream. We're just going to be hanging out a little bit and driving some various tracks. There's a new pack that just came out by WDT, the Street pack, which is a detuned version of their sort of Pro-Am style or Pro 2 style cars, which I've done a review on their Skyline. I liked it quite well. It's one of my favorite packs out there. Fast, good power, good grip, and just fun cars to drive. So we're going to be starting out with the new WDT Street Pack A86. It's non-turbo, so it's quite slow and challenging to keep sideways. And we're going to be driving on a Touge-Style night track. So we'll get that started here. And also, guys, say hey in the chat. Let me know who is on. I've got to turn lights on this track. It does have street lights. I haven't actually loaded. There's some extra work you have to do to load the file to get those lights to work, and I'm not about to mess with that. I'm just going to go use the headlights on the car and go send it. And I need to delete the AI folder. I have just seen it. Occasionally it'll pop up that little yield sign, so hopefully it won't do that too often. I think once I get down from here, it won't pop that back up for us. Ooh boy, that's gonna make me dizzy. And here we are out to the track. There go the boys. Go ahead, bro. Really? All right. Ooh, all the angle. Oh boy, I am not used to this car, obviously. Nor do I even know the track. We're just gonna send it. Well, that got to wind it out pretty nicely. Ooh. Oh man, this brings back sort of questionable memories about 8.6 drifting. Yeah, I don't know if this car can complete all of the turns on this track. But perhaps with better timing, it can. Oh, it takes everything that this little 4AG has got. But that makes it fun and challenging. Come on. There we go. Come on, car. You can do it. I'm letting it pick up too much angle in a few spots, and it's delaying how soon I can get on the throttle. Those on-power transitions on this car, it continues to float around pretty quickly, so I've got to be a little bit more careful and anticipate that. A little bit of foot brake there to control the car. This is the section that I just don't know if this car can do. It just doesn't have the power to get a good run-and-go and attack that section. I feel like I'm a little bit gear limited too, and almost need to dip into third. But I mean, clutch kicking this car in second isn't completely effective. So I don't even want to know what third gear feels like in this beast. But perhaps as I begin to learn the track, there will be an opportunity to link that section properly, or I'll just throw it away by getting too sideways and having to stay off throttle and gripping the car back up. Oh Lord, nope. That's not easy to do. Oh boy, that is challenging. Old school stuff. Kyle, what's up, man? Partial send. Yes, indeed. It really is like driving my actual 8.6. They are real pains in the asses to drift, but they're kind of fun. Can't feel this. Hey, what's up, man? Don't think you remember me, but I'm the guy that asked you what your setup was on Instagram because I'm trying to get into sim drifting. Yeah, dude, thanks for watching. What's up? No, I remember, of course, a lot of people ask me about what my setup is, but I remember you asking me about that. Welcome to the stream. Thanks for checking it out. Daniel says, oh, they were waiting on Cody to give you a solid lead. Okay, well, yeah, I'll have to get back on there and find out who's going to be able to do that. I don't know that even with a solid lead I can see anything on this track, but here come a couple of dudes. Oh, there's Cody. All right. So we've got an 8.6 following an SN95 Mustang that's probably boosted. I'm pretty sure that's a boosted car. This should not be able to happen. This is some initial D shit right here. That's so difficult to get that section right. I have like such a tight balance of traction and power that if I wait and hesitate by even like a couple tenths of a second, it's too late and the car grips up. Oh, come on. Gonna have to clutch kick it a lot. Ah, got the wall. Well, in that case, we'll just cheat a little bit. Alright, let me see if I can set myself up. Nope, too much angle. Can't get on the gas when you've got the limit of your angle there. So that means I have no opportunity to do this turn correctly. Gripped back up again. So I'm really excited because the channel is getting really close to hitting 5,000 subs. We're probably going to do that next week. And I've got some surprises in store. I'm going to really level up the sim rig. And I just don't trust the car because anytime I try to leave it on throttle in transition, it over-rotates in the extreme. So then it makes it hard to close up on people. Ooh, got thrown off. I thought that was the long turn. It's been difficult to keep count. I guess I have a track map I could consult if I really wanted to, but who does that? This is the long turn that I was talking about, and I straightened up. Just not enough power, not enough gearing in second and third gear is not usable for this car on this track. Oh, what's up, Cody? So now it'll be 8-6 versus Crazy Angle Mustang. Well, I have to give Cody props because usually when I get behind people, they just wipe out instantly. On my streams, I don't know why, because when I'm not streaming, everybody does great. But Cody had some very solid lead runs there. Check chat real quick. Res Dog left if I want to unmute. I wasn't trying to hide from Rez. Battle stage memories, yes, for reals. Oh, yes, him and X, you do have to download all the mods listed on that particular server to join. So we've got the 501 car pack, the WDT Street car pack, and then whatever the name of this map is, it was like an abbreviation. I didn't see it, so I can help with that. Vortex knows it, so he might drop it into the chat because he's good about that. And also, if you check the link down in the description of this video, the Kame Trick Discord will have the link as well. Hot Boy, have I tried Railhead Motion? Yes, I have. I'm not a huge fan. You don't like Grang Sports. Grange, maybe? Not sure what you're saying there. I have tried Railhead Motion. For me, I use being able to like watch the track move around the dash of the car to analyze what the car is doing, what kind of angle it's at, how much angle it's picking up, etc. And while Railhead Motion, like, it moves the camera in the direction that you steer, for anybody who doesn't know, and it's a great tool for people on single monitors especially to be able to get more situational awareness, because like a real drifter, you know, you look out the side window when you're drifting in that direction, and you look out this part of the windshield when you're drifting in the other direction. Sounds great on paper. I've used it sometimes for grip racing stuff. However, in drift, it, like, for me anyway, it masks my ability to tell what the car is doing in terms of picking up angle. So I don't drive as well. Like, I do that a lot more. I park the car and spin. Alright. I'm down for some crazy burst passes. Are we going to go for another? There's Vortex. He was just in the chat. Some of my favorite peeps to drive with because we can do goofy stuff like that. Ah, flipped the wall, and I did not. That is unusual. Usually I'm the one flipping the walls. I'm going to have to try going up to third in that section. I really don't want to because I'm pretty sure it's going to be an instant fail. As is basically everything about trying to drive this car. Ugh. It sounds good, though. And I'm dead. Alright, I'm going to try a different car out, something with a little bit more power. So, hang on just 1 second. And we are back. The Erebus SPI go ruin some rubber. I'm about to. Heck yeah, man. Tyler says, does the WDT 86 feel like it has no power steering? No, it feels okay to me. My actual Grip 86 that I drifted a few times, it was terrible. Had a depowered power rack, and it was awful. But this doesn't feel quite as bad as my actual 86 felt, and it's set up, of course, more correctly, because a grip car doesn't always drift all that well. No, it doesn't feel too bad. Yes, if lampposts had collisions, I would totally be dead. Now you will. Hey, what's up, man? Welcome back. Yes, this is WDT Street Pack. I was just on the 86, and now I'm going to a S13 coupe. Oh, Fast and Furious! God damn, I've always wanted to do that. That was sick! Oh, cars with power, I can drive them. I have no idea how much power this car has. I'm probably going to put it into the wall because I'm not used to it. Wow, okay, so this car, I don't think I have the turbo turned up or anything, but it feels really nice to me. It floats pretty nicely. It doesn't transition and like snap to way too much angle. It's kind of like middle of the road, which is very drivable. You can see we've now got enough power to link that turn. Oh, now I died. Hate that lamppost. The stream is a lot more entertaining if I talk while I drive. However, it slightly impairs my ability to drive. So let me put in a few quality laps and see if I can figure this track out a little bit better. Oh, you can still over-rotate and park it if you transition on throttle in the new pack. Not all the time, but like it's possible to do, because I've done it a few times. A habit I don't tend to do in real life too much. Oh, the gearing is way better too. Okay, the power delivery is not... This is not a typical SR type of setup. It should be way leggier. Oh god. Or we're like on 15s. I'm not sure which. But that's okay. It's kind of like a V8 or a JZ car where you can just use the throttle and you don't really have to worry about boost lag after you kick it sideways for the first time. Vortex in the FC. I'm late on my counter steer, late on my transitions. Not by a killer amount. But by an amount that's problematic. I feel like I did a pretty decent job of getting into his business there without actually hitting him. And I hit the light post again, I'm dead. Good times. This is where real head motion would help, because I can't see, and then I wait too late to transition because I'm blind. Whoa. What that was. Shadow's gotten so good. I mean, we started it pretty close to the same time, but I don't think he has IRL experience. I could be wrong. My bad if I'm wrong. I'm dead again, by the way. Well, but yeah, he's gotten good really fast. Picked up some VR gear, and the immersion has been massively helping him. while I'm still over here. Oh, I'm dead. On my little single monitor setup. Good times. So that car feels good. I like it. Let's see. Yeah, the pack is insane, WDT Street. I like it quite a bit. Hot Boy says, how much did it cost to get the bigger wheel? So this is a real wheel. It came on my Grip 8.6, so I didn't actually buy it. It was on the car when I got it, but it's a JDM Matsuri wheel. You can find them at Up Garage. And occasionally, if you just search for like JDM Maziora, M-A-Z-I-O-R-A, or a Chameleon wheel, you can find them. I'm not sure if they're one-off wheels or what. I know it's wood underneath here. It's painted wood, but it's a pretty nice wheel. I dig it. Nayuel says, I feel better than DW pack, but both packs are really good. Yeah, DW Weissfab is probably my favorite pack right now, and WDT is in my top 3. So the Street pack I was really excited to drive, and it does feel pretty good. Kyle says, 8 seconds, that's how long it took before the Fast and the Furious corkscrew. Yeah, man, I didn't think I was going to clear it, to be honest. I've never tried that before. Track link is in the Kame Trick Discord. I don't have one handy. If Vortex hops back in chat, he might be able to drop one. Tyler says JZX90. JZX90 is my favorite from the pack. I haven't tried it yet. The R32 felt alright to me. It wasn't my favorite, but it was alright. Let's see if we can do this again. This is actually quite difficult. Oh, one little tap. But that's alright. That's just a style tap. I really should have downloaded the lights for this track so that I could see. All these street lights are supposed to work, but who wants to be able to see where they're going? That's overrated. In fact, if I can catch up to anybody, I might have to try out the good old Initial D blind attack on them. Oh, the understeer. I've heard that they understeer from a couple of people, and it might just be that they're used to driving other car packs, because I know that that catches me off guard from time to time. I don't think they're too bad. But I did get caught in that moment where you transition a little bit too soft, and the front kind of washes out from under you, but it doesn't have enough grip to like help the back kick around, so it can be a huge pain. I like that sound. Who do we get? Thomas Hammond, thank you, dude. I appreciate the sub. Welcome to the channel. So you are watching Kame Trick. This is a channel where we do sim drifting and we do real life drifting. I've been drifting in real life for a long time, and I've been drifting in sim since about, I don't know, May of this year, so I'm pretty new to that. But the skills, for the most part, carry over. It is weird not feeling the G-forces that you'd feel in the actual car, because that is how like a lot of IRL drifters get all their cues for what and when to do everything with the controls. So it's a little dicey getting used to sim. VR can help. The immersion is really good if you can handle it. Personally, I get VR sickness pretty badly, so, which is essentially nausea. So it is not for me. Touch a foot brake as we dive into this turn, carrying tons of speed. Oh, that feels really good. But yeah, once you get over or find some way to compensate for the lack of inertia and G-forces to help tell you what to do, then it is pretty fun. see what cars we can do next. I'm really digging this S13 coupe though. It feels excellent. Here we go again. We're gonna. Oh, that was too tight. Let's say we're gonna dive in with that foot brake. I'm gonna see what's in here. I've not actually been in here to goof around yet. Uh-oh. I'm gonna dodge that guy. So apparently certain parts of the under area of this parking garage that you load on is like a pit area, I think, and so I believe I was throttle limited in a few spots there because I was going to drift around in there, do some donuts, and then run back up the ramp. Kyle says, all this lamppost aggression is karmic retribution for the crap we gave our old friend in the roundabout incident next to the Initial D arcade back in the day. Oh, man. Kyle is one of my buddies from back in the day. We go way back to Initial D version 2 arcade stage. And I've pretty much been trying to play the Initial D arcade series as much as I can. Is it realistic? Hell no. Is it fun? Hell yes. So there you go. Arc10 Racing says, I'd have the money to buy a PC. I already have a wheel set up. Do you think I can benefit from it? I still don't have my permit yet. I already have a truck. Yes, I do think that you can benefit if you want to get into grip racing, if you want to get into drifting as well. Sim driving is a great way to go for that. I will say that we'll put on something more entertaining for you guys to look at here. If you... Hey, Rocky MP4, thanks for the sub, man. I appreciate it. Welcome to the channel. Glad to have you aboard. So, yeah, if your goal is to practice sim drifting, I do recommend that you make sure you buy a wheel with a belt drive. So there's basically gear, belt, and direct drive. Gear systems are too slow on their countersteer to realistically simulate drifting, so I don't advise it. Although for grip they're acceptable. I have one. It's super old. It was like $100. It was very cheap, a Logitech. Belt is great. Direct drive is awesome, but no one can afford it, or at least most people aren't going to spend the money. So just get a belt drive. It's very simple, very straightforward. It's going to be Thrustmaster 300 series, Fanatec CSL Elite, or Fanatec CSW, which is what I've got. Rocky, what track and public server? So the server, just look up Kame Trick, same as the channel here on YouTube, and you should find everything in the description of the track, or of the server description, in order to find the track, because I actually don't know what track this is. I just hopped on. One of my moderators picked it, Danny, aka Vortex. Diamond Goat says, really like watching the streams. Hey, I appreciate it, dude. I really enjoy doing them, just hanging out. Tyler's back. I drift my E46 whenever I get the chance to. It's weird not worrying about the car braking in Assetto. Thank you, my dude. Like, so many people that only sim drift go like so hard and are always bumping into me and stuff, and I'm like, guys, you would have broken the car like 8 times this lap. Like, I don't mind. It's fine, but it's interesting because even though you can get really solid in Assetto, I feel like unless you want to have a rude awakening, you're probably going to be, hey, it's Ebisu, you're probably going to be a little bit more cautious when you get into real life tandems, because if you misread the situation and you punk into somebody, you could, ruin that corner of the suspension, and it just might be a big deal. Pro Rider says, I gonna join you in a second. Right on, dude. I look forward to seeing you in there. Hot Boy, I have a G920 and I have a problem with over-rotation. Yes. I should make that the title of a video at some point. Hey, more Ebisu. But basically, when you're transitioning with a Logitech or any gear-driven wheel, like let's say you're drifting in this direction and you're going to transition this way, you need to forcibly grab the wheel and throw it, because it, like right now I've got my force feedback on, so you see how it stops. This is what a gear wheel feels like. It just resists that motion. So if you throw the wheel as you transition, it will help the wheel to do the steering for you and hopefully get you transitioned without wiping out. Otherwise, you just need to throw softer transitions and use less weight shift, because you have to compensate for the fact that the wheel isn't very good for drifting, and at least that's my opinion. If you're talking about ultimate realism, that's why you want to get a belt wheel. No offense, just trying to share some knowledge. Arc10, I have a Thrustmaster TSXW with a shifter, getting handbrake soon. Heck yeah, that's awesome. MNX, I can't join. I downloaded track and cars. hop into the KT Discord, link in description, and some of the guys there can help you out. I can't really troubleshoot it on stream. As far as I know, everything's fine. Unless you're getting a checksum, you should be good. Tomo Steez, heyo, what track and cars are on the server? This is the WDT Street Pack. Boy, I should put that in the title of the video. It's hard to drift with the Logitech. Yeah, it is a challenge. It is a challenge. And speaking of challenge, let's try a different car out. We know that we like that S13 Coupe, so I'm going to let the chat break screen run so that you guys have some fun stuff to watch. Let's see what else we have. We've got an S15, and a Laurel. I'm going to try and get my revenge on Laurels, or Laurels as they say in Oz. Which I'm not Australian, but I just dig Aussie pronunciation. Anytime that I meet friends when I'm in Japan, most of the time they're Aussies, and we have a good time talking about like how Americans say stuff and how Brits say stuff and how Aussies say stuff, so we enjoy that. Kyle says, I've avoided jumping in on the stream for so long because I've been afraid of getting too hype and ended up taking up sim drifting, but it's good stuff. Hey, I appreciate it, dude. Thank you, thank you. Road Rider, I got used to my G27. You do have to shuffle it a lot. Yes, you do. Shuffle steer is where it is at for those wheels. I should make a video on shuffle steer too. Alright, so we're going to try this Laurel, and I've got a little prediction for you. Get the lights on. This is a big, chunky boy car, and I'm almost certainly going to forget how long this boat is and bash the back of it into all the walls. Whoa, did I just not get hit by somebody? That's wild. Clipping on that car probably needs to be addressed. I'm going to turn up force feedback because it feels kind of numb. Oh, that is bizarre. Yeah, so apparently we can clip through one another with that particular car. Interesting. Okay, well, this boat... Oh, nope, I wiped. Handles about like I would have expected. And yeah, I think I'm throttled in the pits. I don't know, it just seems like sometimes the stuff doesn't work. Ooh, force feedback feels bad at speed. I turned up my settings and I didn't actually need to, so let me turn those back down. Chase, it was nothing personal, I just happened to be goofing with force feedback settings. I would have been happy to lead for you, but for the time being, we're just going to try piloting this boat. So I have driven a Laurel in real life, only a handful of laps, but I got to drive one at Assetto Corsa, North Corsa. And I did terribly at it, I have to say. Now, granted, this was probably 4 years ago or something now. I was not as good. Like, I've been drifting a long time, but I was just kind of rusty. And it had been a while, even though I've been drifting for a long time, I wasn't getting a ton of seat time for some of those events. So I had an opportunity to drive several Ebrake cars, and I was trying to shred in this Laurel, and I swear every freaking third turn I was spinning the car. It was embarrassing. The other thing though was it was my first time driving right-hand drive cars. And right-hand drive is weird. Okay, that threw me off a little bit, but it happens. Right-hand drive is really weird if you're not used to it. It doesn't take too long to get used to, but it's not so much where you're sitting in the car or how the point of view changes. I mean, that's an aspect, but it's really that the shifter and the Ebrake are on the other side. And for me, so I really experienced difficulty feeling confident in the car, and that just little bit of being thrown off has a huge impact if it, you know, pulls you out of your natural flow and like out of the zone for driving. So I need to drift a Lorel again so that I can redeem myself, and I'm happy to do a little bit of that here in Sim today. Love the RB motors. I don't know the RB motors that I've driven in real life sound like this one, but it doesn't sound bad. I just like a little bit gutsier of an exhaust note. Whoa. Still not accustomed to the transitions on this car. I think I'm fairly convinced that I'm going to send it into the wall pretty thoroughly, so I'm sort of tiptoeing around on these transitions, and it's hurting me, obviously. Also, I keep thinking that that's the really long fast turn, so I carry speed into it, and it ends up being the tight turn. I need to look for some sort of identifier on the track so that I don't do that. So this is the long fast turn. See, we're building up hill or speed, and then we come in here, little foot brake to slow the car down. And we're all set up again, and here comes Vortex and Shadow. Oh boy, Shadow's going to try out the 8.6. We'll see if he can do any better than I was doing this at the start of the stream. Well, no we won't, because I'll just wipe out. Lovely. Okay. Yep. He probably did what I did and thought that was the fast turn and washed out as he realized it was not the fast turn. A2 500, the RX-7. It's a bold car to be trying to slide in a little harder than, oh, I'm so sorry, bro. That was my fault. I ought not to have tagged you there. I was carrying a ton of speed. Go down to first there. Okay. Oh, this is going to be a mess. Or I'll just get out of the way. Right. So this car transitions more snappily than I would have expected. Or perhaps it's realistic and it's just an easier car to spin. Go on by, bro. Or don't. Alright. Yeah, more than the S13, I'm picking up extra angle and transition, which is fine if you account for it like that, but I have not been accounting for it. I really wish they had collision on for these street lamps. Like, for the most part, I can and will dodge them, but tell you what, man, I'm gonna get a track builder program. And I'm going to make a track that's like the Mario Kart old school Rainbow Road. Like, no walls, just a straight up cliff, Mortal Kombat style, and if you can't hang, like if you're just not good enough yet, you don't have to like get in people's way when you wipe out, you're just going to fall into oblivion and have to go back to the pits. I think that would be hilarious and super fun. Granted, it would be frustrating as hell too, because you know that somebody would tap you from behind and end your run early. Oh, I'm dead. Caught a taillight or street light to the face. So I do have to let you guys know that unfortunately, for some reason, my streaming program is not displaying the chat dynamically in game right now. Which is weird because last stream it did. I don't know what's different. So periodically I'm stopping, taking a quick chat break, so to speak. Look at all that speed. And then I clutch kicked too hard. But all that to say that I will check chat in between making a couple of laps. So please do write in, let me know how your night's going, what you got planned for the weekend. If you're doing any good sim or real drifting, there might still be a few events left in your area. We're pretty much done in mine. And in my area, there's some kind of bummer news too, guys. So Oklahoma drifting, no change. But I hang with the North Texas guys quite a bit, with Aaron Losey and Full Lock Drift, all those guys, Fielding Shredder and Harrison and Mike Van Schellenbach, all the crew. Patrick Carson, not that I'm trying to name drop, but just, I miss the guys. It's been a while since I've seen everybody. And the venues that I would go to were all around the Dallas-Fort Worth area. It would be Mineral Wells, Texas Motor Speedway. And then if I want to drive like 8 hours, I can go down to Houston. But let's be honest, I don't want to drive 8 hours unless I'm actually going to be drifting. I only do that a couple times a year, probably just once a year actually. So, the bummer news is that Mineral Wells is closing as a venue. I think that the land is... Ooh, I'm dead. I think that the land has been purchased by like the Air Force or something. But that giant parking lot is going to be used for some sort of aircraft stuff. So, no more events there. We're just going to goof off and go up the hill, or try to. Nope, can't do it. So Mineral Wells is gone. There will be no more Mineral Wells events ever, as far as I understand it. And, on top of that, I'm going to change cars here. On top of that, if that wasn't bad enough, the Formula Drift provisional calendar was released for 2020, and I was super bummed to see that Texas Motor Speedway is not on the provisional calendar. Now it could be that that is going to change. However, it's also just as likely that you know, they release these provisional calendars with a pretty solid idea of what they're going to be doing. And maybe there's just no Texas this year. So that sucks because it was the closest event for me. I worked with race operations down there the past couple of years. I didn't make it out last year because my little girl was just born. But the few years prior to that, I've been working with Pat and his crew to help run the event. And it's the second best seats in the house outside of the driver's seat. Very good times. And so the fact that a close venue like that is not going to be active for 2020 really bums me out, because I think the next closest venue is like 8 or 9 hours away from me, and I don't know if I'll get to go. Sad face. Alright, catching up on chat. As soon as I can figure out where I was at. Arc 10, can you drift without power steering? It's possible, yes. I mean, old school cars, like 70s cars that people drift, may never have had power steering. I recommend adding it. I think it's a lot easier to drive. You've got to be fit, I mean like buff, to drift without power steering and do it well. Or you really have to predict where the car is going to be and stay ahead, if you will, of the car. Because if you get caught off guard by anything, not having power steering just slows down your reaction times. And if you're slow, you're more likely to make mistakes or not recover from mistakes. That said, if you watch Lone Star Drift, Harrison with the red FC, that car does not have power steering. I think Taylor Ray did a review of it a while back, and you could see even Taylor, who's another great driver, really struggled to adapt to that lack of power steering. For me, I don't want to drive cars without power steering. I just about won't. Like, I'll make 1 or 2 laps and then I'll just say, no, I'm done. It's just a lot of work. It really keeps you on your toes. That's a nice way to say it. MNX, wait, do I need mod for nighttime driving also? Not that I know of. I don't know that I have any special mods going and it's showing up that it's nighttime. I think it may just be plugged into the track that way. But if you do, then you need, let's see, Assetto Corsa Content Manager, you need Custom Shaders Pack, and you need Soul installed and working. That's a lot to get into. If you look up videos on YouTube, you can find tutorials on all those things. Again, it's a little much to get into on stream. Chase says, "What's up? I tapped you." Yeah, you drove through my car too when we were in the pits. That was interesting. It was like collision was off in the pits. Off-key 40 Pikes Peak Mario style. Yeah, dude. That's exactly what it would be. Oh man, Pikes Peak is so rad. I wonder if they have a Pikes Peak track on Assetto. Daniel, that track is a track that Shadow converted from LFS to put on Assetto Corsa. Okay, there's the answer. I saw it had LFS in the name, but I didn't catch what it was. I think it might be called LFS9 on the RAR file. The reason that you were going through the cars is because that's how I had the pit set up. Okay, there we go. Oh, man. They have Rainbow Road on Assetto already, but I don't want it to be the actual Rainbow Road. I just want it to be like a cool canyon track with nothing but death if you go off track. Down and Goats, have you tried raising your FOV by a bit since you have one monitor? I have. I'm going to either get VR or triples. I can't say because, spoiler alert, I'm doing one of the two when we hit 5,000 subs, which is coming up in like probably a week. But soon, I will have a better solution, and single monitor problems will not be problems for me. But I have tried it. It's okay. So the wider your FOV is, you get like a fisheye lens, and you can see all the car, and you can see out the sides and everything. But the cost for that is it messes up speed sensing a little bit, which if you're just into like gaming is not a big deal, but if you're really trying to simulate actual driving, I think it's a little bit distracting. I don't know, that's just me. However, it does help a lot. The other thing that I'll do, if I'm trying to tandem, for example, and I just can't straight up see what I'm doing, is I will use hood view. So this way you can also see a fair bit of the track around you. So we have switched over to a Nissan 180SX. I'll just try driving like this. I have no idea if my cameras are going to line up in a nice way or if they're going to be in the way. A little clutch kick there as I get just a hair too slow. Neutral bomb. Oh man, it feels way different being in the overhood view. It's been a minute since I've driven that way, but this is typically my answer to single monitor tandem. It sucks in a way that it takes you out of the cockpit if being in the cockpit is important to you, but at the same time it just lets you see a lot and you keep your regular, like, correct perspective, I guess you could say. So this is the fast turn, so we're going to stay on throttle in the transition, swing out wide, and then grip up because why would we want to do it correctly, whatever. Angle save, and then come back around to the start. So I guess I basically got my course strategy figured out. For the most part, the turns on this track are all about the same average speed. So through here, turn 1, into turn 2, you can basically use the same strategy. You don't want to, for me, you don't need to stay on throttle during transition. You can just come off. It's going to cause the car to transition a little bit slower, float down the track a little bit more, and kill a little bit of speed so that you don't end up flying off the edge. But as you get to this turn that's coming up, it's a fast turn, so you transition on power, try to stay out wide, and then as you come up through here, it's going to be Ebrake and foot brake to kill speed before you accelerate back up to how the whole rest of the track is. So this is a simple track, pretty easy to learn. It's got some nice walls that can occupy you. I'm not trying to get super close to them. I'm just trying to kind of keep it off the grass, which is always the first thing that you ought to do. As I say that and curse myself, and onto the grass we go. I'm just going to go around. I've noticed for the fast turn, that I don't have enough gearing, so I need to go up to, probably go up to third, and then back down to second. I feel like I need just one more click if I had been in the settings menu and thought to adjust it. One more click of gearing so that I could carry just a hair more speed, because if you hit the rev limiter and you're at a low amount of angle, it's entirely possible that because you lose your wheel speed, it doesn't continue to climb, that is, that the rear will grip up and you'll fall into a slow understeer condition. So this car doesn't feel too different from the S13 Coupe, which is not a surprise because they're basically, I don't know, third is not powerful enough with the stock turbo settings. They're basically the same chassis though, so expectably they handle about the same way. I'm going to turn the turbo up by what all it's got. I don't know, I think it's stock, it might have been at 70. So with it turned up more, we're going to see if third gear will clear that fast turn. This is not it, so now that I've remembered to transition off throttle, I'll stay on the track. Alright, here we go. So I'm going to come in tight on this apex, down the track as far as I can, shift up to third on the transition. Oh, nope. I was still a little late. Back down to second we go. That was my fault. I can drive around it. I just didn't. I can still carry more speed and make sure that I'm at full boost when I basically slap the shifter up into third. The sort of thing I wouldn't do with a real car, just because I've rebuilt transmissions and it's expensive. But since it's a sim, I do not mind. I believe this is the fast turn. Nope, it is not the fast turn. Sad face. Alright, that means that this is the fast turn. Of course, I have a terrible line to start with, but let's go as far as we can. Let's slap it up into third, and too much. Overpowered the tires. That's one thing I'll say about these Street Pack cars. They're not crazy fast, but they feel like they have a ton of power, and it's probably because they have fairly small tires that don't make a ton of traction, which is realistic for a street car. It'd be like if you had, 300 wheel, but you were still on 205s or 215s. You're not going to have too much trouble getting the car sideways, which feels good. It's important to balance the engine power with the tire traction. If you have too much of one and not enough of the other, it's really frustrating and not very fun. Try and keep a nice even angle through here. Gentle throttle modulation. Oh man, this is such a squirrely car. It takes so little to pick up angle faster than you intended to. I did not mean to do that. And I was completely in control of the car. I just very slightly overdrove it, but there's not a whole lot of room for error, even though there's tons of angle. The car just kind of comes loose and goes. Alright, so there's kind of that third gear move. It was okay. Beating up the rev limiter as we come around here. We'll try to put it on the wall. Not even close. but that's okay, because I'm an IRL drifter, and putting it on the wall means that you have to fix the car. And that is the 180SX. Noah, what's up, Ben? How's your stream been so far? Hey, dude, we're doing great. It's actually awesome. We've got 26 people who are watching, so thanks all of you guys. That is rad. Happy to have you out here hanging out on a Friday night. Daniel says the 8.6 feels the best. It just needs more power. Yes, it does need a little bit more power, and the lights apparently show the clipping points. I'm basically clipping on the lights, so that works pretty well. Noah says, I'm going to join the lobby. My screen name is JDM Maniac. Heck yeah. They have no grip. Ice drifting is all Assetto is, dude. Crack me up. But, yeah, it is a little slippery. I'm going to put you guys on the chat screen real quick. Grab a quick sip of water and then try out a different car. The only thing we haven't seen yet today that is available is the R32. So, that is what we'll try. Now, Vortex says the R32 is a garbage machine and it understeers like nobody's business. So, if it's possible to understeer and wipe out, I'll make sure that I do. That's not on purpose, it's just, you know, how it is. We'll see. SC300 is the worst. Okay. Swapping the tires on the cars. Yeah, we can put the grassroots tires on there from OTM. That might be pretty good. Alright, let's see what we think of the old R32 Skyline. Here we go. Turn on the lights. And I'm going to hop back into a traditional cockpit view here. Well, the R32 seems to have less turbo power. I drove it a little bit earlier. I'm gonna see what the turbo's set at. It's set at 80%. Okay, that's not bad. It just felt a little laggy, which I mean is realistic, but let's see what we've got. I like that the headlights have that sort of 80s and 90s yellow tint to them before all the cars started having the blue and like surgical bright white headlights. The next time I have to buy headlights for the 240, I'm mildly considering seeking out the yellow style lights, just because I love how retro they feel. Oh, this was the fast turn. I was not even paying attention, but we got through it, so the car does not seem to be down for power. Close to the wall there, but no damage. Okay, there was a little bit of weirdness, a little bit of maybe understeer. It got kind of neutral in that transition, like the front washed out a little bit. I haven't noticed it most of the turns, and it could just be the way that I drive. That was the fast turn again, and I was unprepared, but I will manage to avoid hitting the light pole at least. So, the R32 feels fine to me. Not perfect, but it feels good. The thing that I'm noticing with this car is that you have to be a little cautious on transition. If you throw a gentle transition, any car will grip up in the front. And then, well, it'll grip up in the rear. and then the front will typically understeer immediately when that happens. So any car will do that, but I do feel like the Skyline's tendency to do that is higher. So you have to throw some pretty deliberate, kind of powerful transitions. And if you don't, then you're going to find that the front washes out from under you and that you sort of understeer towards the wall. It's not crippling understeer, like I've been able to get out of it most of the time. But it does throw you off. Picked up too much angle there. See what this car thinks of going up to third here. Oh, not really the best fit for 80% turbo. Probably 100% turbo can do it. And there is that sort of weird issue where the rear grips up and then the front of the car just goes, ugh, I have nothing. It just gives up. Little difficulty there. One of the things that I struggle with in sim that I don't really struggle with in my actual car, oh god, yeah, that was terrible, is that it's easy without that sense of G-force to throw too much angle at the car and essentially end up almost spinning the car, and then you can do an angle save to keep from spinning, but you can't get on throttle during that time. And so the end result is that you kind of park the car in front of people. And with a lot of power like these cars and most sim drift mod cars have, you won't have any problem getting back in the drift, but it is terrible to follow somebody that does that. I mean, the good news is you can see when it happens. There's some of that understeer. I'm out. The good news is you can see when it happens. The bad news is that you basically go like and stop and then restart. And so if somebody's behind you, they're going to have a miserable time. I think if it's avoidable, you should avoid it unless you're in competition and trying to play games. I don't like it. So that is my 2 cents. Basically consider that a driver error, and I was making several of them, so it's a challenging car. The Skyline has a little bit more delicate balance there, and I was missing the mark a little bit. Warfare says I've got a tune for it and it feels good. Yeah, I'm sure it can be tuned up. I'm just playing it stock, so haven't really worried too much about it. They hype the cars up so much. I'm like, oh yes, classic ice car pack was really sad. Oh man, I've not been playing enough to have a strong opinion on it one way or the other. I need to compare it to the original WDT pack and see how different it feels from that. I'd be curious to see what that feels like. Sky Dwellers says my Honda Fit has stock yellow fog lights. Heck yeah, stock fog lights are, the yellow fog lights rather. They're the jam. Cool stuff. Danny, yeah, I'm watching you right now. We have different driving styles. You wait for the car to transition, not much wheel input. Yeah, I basically drive with my right foot, and all of that lets the wheel just slip through my hands. And I think it does change the way that the car transitions and like where and how badly it displays that understeer that you're talking about. So when the car isn't set up for front grip, I understeer and have to change my driving style. Yep. That's pretty much the difference. Hot Boy says my problem is all the cars feel different, so it's hard for me to get it down. Yeah, I mean, different mod packs absolutely feel different. Some mod packs within the pack, each car does feel different, which is pretty cool. Several of them seem to use pretty similar physics. I think that once once you kind of get the feel of a chassis within a pack, it's easier to learn the other cars in that pack usually. Although an exception would be like rotary cars. If they're decently reproduced rotary cars and they don't make tons of power, then it's clutch kick city and they're pretty hard. But normally piston cars are fairly straightforward. Noah says, finally getting a new wheel for my sim. It's a Vertex wheel with a 3D printed quick release. Yes, buddy. We talked about this. You were like, should I get a Vertex or not? And I didn't want to tell you to, spend the money because, like, personally, I save money where I can so I can spend money on baller gear in other places. And, that's how I have a nice sim rig. That's how I have a nice drift car. It's not because I make a lot of money. It's just because I don't buy other things. And I try to cheap out when I can, like building this frame that I'm sitting in out of wood instead of buying a nice one. All that to say, when it comes to your steering wheel, it's worth it to shell out for what's going to make you happy every time that you get behind the wheel, because you do see that every single time. And you're going to be like, heck yeah, this is rad every time you get behind the wheel. It's super cool. I'm stoked for you, dude. Alright, let's see. Oh, the S15 is available. I'm going to grab that S15, see if I can. I was happy to get a good deal on the wheel. Nice! Yeah, that's awesome, because I think that the Vertex wheels that I've seen were like 400 or 450 bucks. They were high. And I've got a Nardi wheel in mine, but I think I only paid like, I don't know, under 300, two something. Danny says, I don't see my wheel. I wish I bought an eBay wheel instead of a TNT wheel. Yeah, so that was kind of my thing about VR, and part of why, like, I nerd out on the idea of putting a real car dash overlay around my wheel and have it look all badass. But when I was thinking about going with VR, I thought, what's the point? I'm not going to see any of that stuff. It could look completely ridiculous, and I'd never know. So, yeah, that's that's an option. But 110 is a pretty good deal for a wheel. I mean, if you're not in like a real car, you can get the cheapest wheels that you can find. The ones that, if you see YouTubers, they'll like shake the wheel and it'll like crumple up and bend. Because in sim, you're not going to put that much force into it. But you would definitely want a good, decently expensive, like $150, $200 wheel for your real car. Noah says, that's what I want to do. It's for the nerd out factor. Yeah, man, I love it. Sim Invader, Nardis are sick. I use a wood grain Nardi in my Cressy. Very nice, man. I think for a Cressida, you have to have a wood wheel. Like, that's just the move, and it's the right move for sure. I've got their just classic deep cone with the perforated leather, red stitching, no center, like yellow a bit. Just, black and red to match the car and match the interior, and it looks so good. I'm so happy about that. Danny says, I know the one Jay-Z right-hand drive at Oklahoma. He uses a D&D. Yeah, that's Ben Gibson. He's you can actually see his car in almost any of my real-life drifting videos. I'm always driving with him. And he has gotten really good in the past year. Yay, Sportsline Yamanashi. I added new footage. This is potato cam footage from 2007 when I was living in Japan. I was in Yamanashi Prefecture, about 15 minutes from this track, Sportsline Yamanashi. And as you can see, it's tiny, tons of elevation change, and oh god, such a fun track. All right, we're gonna hop back into Assetto. As soon as it, there we go. As soon as it picks up the visuals. So we are in the S15, and pretty much every S15 I've driven in Assetto feels really good. So I'm excited to see how this one feels. That's what you call an inside clip. Ebrake entry to the track. Immediately course out and wrap the car around a light pole. Very good. Excellent. Much Formula Drift Pro 5 or 6 level there. Whew. let's see how this car and its gearing gets around the fast turn. Should have used a little bit of Ebrake there. It actually gripped up on me under the foot brake. But otherwise, it feels good. No real complaints or massive observations so far. I thought that I had gone into the wall really hard right then. Oh, that was unfortunate. This car may have its hit a little. Oof. I'm doing some weird floating stuff in transition that I'm not expecting. I'm just letting it happen when I see it because I don't have to worry about hitting things. But I was gonna say this car feels like it's a little bit grippier, just a hair, than some of the stuff I've been driving. But it's a little odd on transition. Maybe it's just that I'm getting used to the track, but it really, yeah, see, it really floats in transition. So I end up finding myself farther outside on the turns than I want to be. Kind of similar to the R32. But instead of like a more noticeable understeer, it's got a little bit more gentle sort of tendency to find its way to the outside of the track. That was game. Let's say, send it, bud. So I'm adapting to that float issue by transitioning kind of at the inside of the turns. And that way, when it floats out, it's not such a big deal. So I'm transitioning like at the light. That was too soon, and that was unnecessary. Get back in the zone here. Alright, dude. You've got to get so tight on the wall in order to be able to go around and drift like that. That's alright. Experimental Beats. Hey man, I love your content. Keep up the good work. Hit me up on Discord. Yeah, I would love some background music. I will definitely look for you. It's gonna take me a minute to get through the. Actually, let me just add you real quick. I was gonna say it's gonna take me a while to dig back through the live chat. See if I can do this. I'm gonna give you guys the chat background for just 1 second. All right, yeah, I'll try to hit you up after after this when I get a chance. That would be cool. Yeah, yeah, go for it. I'll check it out. I probably won't play it here in the stream right at the moment. I'm just not all that hot with all the technical stuffs, but I will. I'll definitely use it. I love me some good chill step music and stuff like that as BGM for my videos, and I use it in my edited videos too. So, yeah, I'm down if you are. That'd be rad. Alright, I need to learn how to drive. Hold on. Okay. Come on. 俺のドリフト力能力かな起きてくれもう寝る暇じゃないんだぜ I am falling asleep at the wheel. It's a no good. That was like the worst Japanese I've spoken in a while, and I make it a habit to speak terrible Japanese all the time. So I think for me, my favorite cars are the S13 Coupe and the 8.6. The 8.6 because it sounds rad, because it's actually hard to drive and like you can't just effortlessly clutch kick in second gear and it will drive like a V6 car, which the Kunos Drift 8.6 does in my opinion. And the Coupe, oh man, it's just everything that I would want in a street style car. I mean, I hate to be a downer, but still kind of more power than I would say is a street style amount of power, but I guess in the world of modern Formula Drift where everybody's got 1,000 horsepower, it's 300 is actually 300 or 400 is actually modest. So who knows? But I really dig the way that car feels. Oh, little wall tap. Little wall tap that messed me up. It is a super fun car, and I want to drive it more. In fact, I think I'm going to see if it's available. As we check to see if it is available. Nope. Somebody is shredding in it. Experimental Beats got the G920. It's a good start. Brendan, nobody ever loves FBRX7s. Hey, I love the FBRX7s, and they look sick with wide bodies. But even just stockish, they're good looking cars. I don't know if there is a mod for one. I have not seen one. There is a Datsun or Datsun, however you want to say that, 240Z in the DWY's Fab Pack, and I think in the 501 pack. But I don't know if there's an FB that I have seen. I'm sure that there's one out there. But a drift spec FB would be rad. I like the old 12As. Kind of gutless, but they're fun cars. Universal Hydro, yeah, that could work. I've seen people do that. I've just got the Fanatec Ebrake, and really, I bought all of my Fanatec gear used to save money, gently used from a guy. I got it all for about $1K, which is a lot, but at the same time, it's a pretty decent deal for what I got. Everything's working great. Danny, they got on. That's in it. Anyways, good night, guys. Hey, man, before you go, would you be down to change the track? I feel like we've driven this one for a bit. Maybe I'll hop in the Discord and see if somebody else can. G920 doesn't have a plug. There are some where you can just do a USB, and I've seen people build them too. Yeah, I've seen people. I forgot my background. Build them for like $40. I don't know if they're that sturdy though. If you sort of do a DIY build. 12:03 a.m. for you. Oh snap! So you are on the East Coast. It's 11:03 for me. I usually stream for 3 to 4 hours, my time from about 8 to midnight, and somewhere around midnight I tend to call it a night. Jersey, right on, right on. It's been a while since I've been out there. I usually make it out to Florida. I've got some family out there, but it's been a minute. I've been to New York City once, randomly drove out there in college with some Japanese friends of mine, and one of them was going to a job fair, and like, we drove out, nobody slept, we didn't get a hotel, dropped the guy off at the job fair, me and the other dude that helped drive out, just like, got some cheap Chinese food, like saw the Statue of Liberty, picked him back up, and we drove back. Like, we never slept. It was stupid is what it was, but the sort of like good times that you have in college are like, you know, just crazy stuff, spur of the moment. Man, it was a good time. Brendan calling it a night, you sound like an old dad. I'm the old dad and I'm still shredding, so there you go. Yeah, Times Square was pretty, I think we drove through part of it. It was like the middle of the day randomly, so, and traffic was intense. I was not prepared. Like, I'm not in the sticks, but I'm not in like the city. I'm in sort of I don't know how many people Oklahoma City has. That's where I'm at right now. I'm gonna hop back into this S13 coupe. And if you guys want to see another track and my server doesn't change, I think that most of the folks who came out for the bash are pretty much calling it a night at this point, so I'm happy to crash some other server, assuming that I have the track and the cars and everything. I might crash the OTM server. But since I'm in here, hey, it's Rocky. We'll hop in behind Rocky. Hey, that was sick. It's alright, you got time? I'm just hanging out back here. Now you want me to go? Everybody always wants to chase, and I understand why. However, the gentlemanly thing to do is to trade off. So we'll see if Rocky wants to trade off after I get a couple of laps in this coupe that I love so much. Healthy little bit of foot brake there. I am kind of gripping up in this car a little bit unexpectedly, but it's not the car's fault. Oh, the wall tap. It's just that I am too accustomed to some of the other cars that I've been driving. And also, I'm just noticing this, but is it just me, or does this car, and several of the cars actually, kind of seem like it's got a right headlight and not a left headlight? Like, that left side is dark AF. Which is whatever. I can't feel G-forces. I don't need my eyes. Who cares? It's just drifting. I'm dead. But yeah, it's awfully mysteriously dark over there. I did not throw enough transition at the car on that turn, and so then I was wah-wah on the throttle trying to convince it to come around the rest of the way, but afraid that if I just laid into it super hard... Oh god, I died. Shit. Nope. Okay, well I'll go back to pits, that's fine. Ah. I guess this is why Vortex has it set to have no collisions in the pits. Because otherwise everybody would get stuck. What are you guys doing? And of course I send it too hard. Right into the wall, out of the gate. It always takes a minute to get in the zone after stopping. Especially in sim for me. I'm not so I'm not so bad at this in real life, but honestly you just have more data available in real life to help you decide what to do. Okay. Yeah, I have no idea what I'm doing, guys. I'm not really down with the idea of like cutting through the lights in exchange for getting close tandem. Did he just bail? Right when I was finally set up decently. It's my own fault for taking so long to get set up well. And he just died. Okay. And we're back to me leading. That's alright. I don't mind a lead until I get VR or triples. And then when I can finally see out the side of my car windows, kind of halfway decently. Oh, that's a spin. Then I'm going to be ready for some better chase runs. Oh, snap. I never did turn on the chat break screen. LOL. My bad, guys. That is a damn shame. Sorry about that. That's alright. I'm going to go to a different server. I'm ready for a different track, and you guys probably are too. We've got, what, an hour left in the stream. Let me see what we have got. Nobody's in OTM. Some folks are in Drift On. Sonata, maybe? Let's see what Texas is up to. Ooh, it is a quiet night out there. Even Ottawa is empty, and usually Ottawa is hopping. Let's go to, you know what, screw it. Let's go to Drift Done GRP. So, Drift Done GRP Performance Mega Tamada DTP 240SF. It's kicking it old school. God. Flo, hey, what's up, Flo? Good to see you, bud. I'll be up for at least an hour. You down to shred some? We're just waiting for it to load. Hopefully everything works. They've got a handful of drivers on. Oh, you're in bed. Right on. Omnivorous Ant 1. Howdy. What's up, dude? Welcome to the stream. Thanks for checking it out. So, is it worth to get Assetto Corsa now in 2019 and soon to be 2020? That is a good question. I think so. If you're into grip driving, it probably is. I'm into grip driving, but I haven't really done it in sim recently. But for drift, yeah, absolutely. I think Assetto is one of the best drift simulators that is out right now. It's got VR support if you have VR gear, so that's cool. The other one to look at is Live for Speed. Those two are really good. I think it's excellent. Yeah, I'm all about Assetto, dude. It's a pretty. I mean, that's my car, and yeah, I know what it feels like to drift. Assetto feels good to me. It's good practice. It's legit. I'd say get it. They need to sponsor me so that I can get that affiliate money. Just kidding, all of them. Flo, thinking of putting up a server? Yeah. I mean, I'll hop in it if you're down. Assuming that, you know, I have the track and all. Hey, let's remember to actually turn on, there we go, the Assetto Corsa feed for our background. Oop. Okay, we got a good number of drivers on in here. So this is, I have to adjust my audio, the DTP pack. It's an old pack. It doesn't make a lot of traction. It's very floaty. But it's fun to drive. Oh, it feels weird after... Oh, it feels super weird after being in those DW Street cars. Also, I think maybe my force feedback is set so low that it's not self-steering very well. Let me see. I'll try 45, which will probably be too much. But each car is different. That's not bad. Cars are hilarious because you can drift them into walls. LOL. You can drift them in fourth gear is what I was going to say. Ugh, I hate switching car packs. It takes me a minute to adjust. Oof. They decided not to I'll let him go on by. Oh, no teleport to pit button, brah. Oof. Yeah, redlining in Assetto sucks. It's just, especially these cars, not a good sound for them. Oh yes, Shannon is absolutely right. So Assetto is only worthwhile on PC because you can mod it. If you're on console, I personally wouldn't say so. It really feels like an old game, and the mod community is what keeps it alive. 7 a.m. here. Yeah. Up early. I'm going to be sleeping in a little bit since I'm staying up so late. Warfare says, being a former console player of AC, if you can get it for PC, get it. Yes, absolutely. So many good mods. Like, everything that you see on my channel, there's only one video that's something you could do on console. Everything else is all modded content. Flo, what cars and tracks? What track do we want? Maybe Sumi Pseudo Kart or Suzuka Twin. I like Suzuka Twin. That's one of my faves, actually. So Suzuka Twin and yeah, I mean I could do Fuji Drift Park as well, but Suzuka Twin would be fun. I'm not sure if I have Fuji Drift Park's map, so I may have to grab it, but I know that there's a certain fellow with an awesome spreadsheet of mod cars and mod tracks who I can consult to get the link for that. Yeah, I'm going to do a couple laps, but hit me up when that's ready, and let me know the server name. Sent you the beat on Discord. Right on. I will. I'll check it out when I get off the stream here tonight. I'll look at it. Well, honestly, I'll probably look at it in the morning. Twin is up. All right, cool. Let's go to Suzuka Twin. What is the... Yeah, 6:20 a.m. Right on. Okay, yeah, I'll check it out. What is the server name, Flo? We'll go find this server real quick. Oop. I've really got to get a better position for my keyboard. $12.19, more East Coast fam. I'm in the central USA here. Does it happen to be the magical drift land of Finn? Is that the name of your... This is running Tando cars, it looks like. That sounds like a cool server. DDC dysfunctional drift crew WDT cars. This must be it. Ports are off. Okay, well, I don't know if I'll I'm gonna try to hop in anyway. Nope, looks like I can't hop in yet. Tando does get too much hate. Thank you. They really do. It was kind of funny because my Tando buddies, like, is Assetto realistic video is the one that blew up and brought a lot of you guys, probably a lot of people to the channel. And maybe it blew up because people hate those cars, or, you know, very polarizing opinions about them. I don't think they're as bad as everybody says. The more that I have driven in Sim and then gone back and, oh, this is Honk, and that's how you build your computer. Yay, Skyrim. The more that I've driven in Sim, the more that I feel like they transition kind of slow. They're sort of like the bullet time of Assetto Corsa drifting, but it's a great way to learn, both if you're just a straight-up beginner and if you come from real life and you're feeling lost in a vacuum because you don't have weight shift to tell you what to do. The fact that they transition slower is really helpful to sort of wrap your mind around the timing and everything, and then you can slowly work your way up to cars that transition a little bit more realistically. But I don't dislike the cars, they're super fun. Server name, Just Drift. Never drove these cars, right on. Let me find that server and I'll come shred with you. Just Drift. Am I missing content for it? I'm experiencing difficulty locating it. Tando and Drift Playground were the first cars and track I ever used in AC. Same here. I was told to start there, and I think Drift Playground is a little hard to learn on if you don't know anything. Search for Suzuka. Okay. Yeah, I think Drift Playground is a little challenging. But I do like it. Yeah, no, I'm still not seeing it. You know, I may not have the updated one by Black Velvet. Experimental Beats, you gonna call it a night? Right on, man. Well, thanks for hanging out. It was good to hear from you. Thanks for joining the stream, and I will check out your music. I'm a big fan of music, and so I will enjoy that when I probably get up and shake off all the cobwebs tomorrow morning. Right on, dude. Thanks for checking it out. Right on, Mike. I'm Ben. Let's see. Where in the world? I mean, I should be able to see the map. I can turn off the filter for missing content. There's one with ADC cars. That one's got a password. And I have no idea what the password is for it, so I don't know if that's it or not. Well, guys, I don't know if I'll be able to join that because it's not coming up for me. No. I mean, I can search for Suzuka and I can show content whether I have the map or not. So, I don't know what's up with that. But if I search Suzuka, God, there's a lot. If I search just or just drift, I'm not seeing it. And if I search Suzuka, I'm seeing tons of stuff. Alright, link in Discord. Cheers. Let's see if this works for me. Because I'm just super unlucky. And my crap is not working. Right there it is. That makes no freaking sense. Alright, well, I don't know, guys. It's fine. We figured it out. Thank you for that. Coming in clutch, Warfare. I appreciate you. Takumi Fujiwara, yo, just pulled up. What is up, man? It's great to have Takumi on stream. Ohayou gozaimasu. Yoroshiku onegaishimasu. Alright, so we're going to... Yeah, dude, thanks for checking out the stream. We're going to bounce back in here. We've got that coupe again on those sick SSR, like, 4-spoke Apache type wheels. Love it. We've got Guarapolo, who is probably in chat, but I'm not sure what name goes with that, from YouTube to Assetto, and we've got Flo in here as well. And I bet that my force feedback is going to be too strong because I had it set for that DTP car, so let me adjust that real quick. See how it feels here. Man, I remember when I reviewed the original DW cars on this track, and I was just terrible. And some of that was that I was actually that bad because I was new at sim drifting. But I just don't care for those cars. Maybe it's the small amount of angle that they have. I'm going to turn up the boost a little bit. I'm just going to do 1 or 2 laps real quick and see if I can get the car feeling. Oh, that's wall. Oh, it's not wall. We live to crash our virtual cars another virtual day. That's good enough. I'm gonna wait for the boys to come around, as they're all pretty close right there. There's a cone in my car. How about that? Yeah, I did find it. Thank you. Neutral bombed it. Oh well, we'll just kind of try to go with it. I always kill a little bit too much speed right there. Oh, did I? Yeah. I sent way too much. If you don't go for the hero entries in Sim, then you're just missing out. Okay. Whee! That was not effective, as they say. I've got to dial my entries back. I keep wanting to do these crazy big moves, and it's just not the way. Also, I think that my brakes on this car are different than the cars I usually drive on this track. It's alright, we're just gonna try and catch up a little bit here. There we go. That was an acceptable first turn. Nothing miraculous, but we lived. Heavy on the foot brake through there. Flow with the dirt drop. Gangster, sir. Heck yeah. Ah, threw myself off when I went to go to left foot brake. He's got this track figured out. Got a little tap. I should have gone for the pass there. I'm pretty sure that's what that was. Oh, I killed too much speed. All right. Woo. Ah, that was funky. All right. Balanced the car wrong. Things that wouldn't happen if you had weight shift. But when it gets into those like real subtle moments of control, I sometimes end up making the goofy decision by accident, and that's definitely what that was. Oh man, these cars feel good. I love the feel of this S13. I'm gonna let flow catch up to me here, because we're in a pretty good little pattern here. Well, that was nasty, but either way, it gave him the opportunity to catch up so that we can drive, and hopefully I'll do the first turn right when I'm not busy trying to go super slow. Sometimes changing your style just to like get everybody into the train throws you off worse than you would think. But I'm glad to get to drive with flow. Yeah, that was great. So we start in second gear, upshift to third on the transition, straighten up, and at this cone we kick it in, kick it back, Slow down however much we think we need to. Down to second. And then balance throttle around this turn. Up to third. In the transition again. Get the car settled. Balance power. Pretty heavy on the foot brakes through this section. A little clutch kick to roll back into the throttle as we come around that super tight hairpin. And then another third gear. Upshift on transition. And then drag Ebrake to wrap it around. That is the basic course strategy for Suzuka Twin. Oh gosh. Cowboy style. Monster trucking. I have no idea. Get my ranch hand truck brush guard on this freaking S chassis. That's fine. We'll just leave it in second and destroy our motor. Whee! E-brake drag for years. Alright, so I got distracted. I started goofing off. Let's see what you guys have got to say. Whoop. Where are we at right now? Back in chat just a little bit. More Dooza. Damn, I'm missing out on a good sesh. Yeah, dude. We're on Flo's server. It's called Just Drift. It's Suzuka Twin with the new WDT Street pack. Noah, my content manager's hating me right now. Dude, sometimes mine does the same. Especially it doesn't want to load my... Like, it doesn't want to recognize my wheel and pedals. I'll see the display and then I'll go into Sim and it just, like, goes to full throttle and then I have to take everything out and start over. It sucks. Souls is dead. Dude, really blocking with the whole car. Yeah, that was, well, I mean, those Soras are big body cars anyway. Takumi Fujiwara says, how do I drift online with modded cars on Assetto Corsa? So it's a three-step process, basically. You have to have it on PC. Mods are only available on PC. Then you search for a server that you want and look at the description of that server. It should tell you the car pack or packs that are being used. You have to go download those. You can just Google Assetto Corsa and then whatever the pack name is, like Tando Buddies. Get those cars. Then it'll tell you the track that they're running as well, and you have to make sure you have the track as well. For the most part, that'll cover it. There are a few servers that may say Sol, S-O-L in there, and for those you have to get Content Manager, Custom Shaders Pack, and Sol installed as well. There are tutorials on YouTube for all those things. I've not made one personally. I might should, but generally you just have to make sure that whatever the content that server has, you also have, and then you'll be golden. Julian, hey, do you remember me? 2 or 3 weeks ago? I'm not sure if I do. Were you on stream or did we talk IRL or something? Like, give me some context. Shannon says, okay, Shannon's got it covered. Right on. Deciphered. Hey, what's up, dude? Noah just keep saying race canceled. I am not sure about that one. I'm not sure about that one. Deciphered asks, any tips for the guys who try to drift the BMW 1M? Maybe I need to use Content Manager. I haven't tried the 1M. I've tried like the E30 and E36, and those were fairly straightforward, like what you'd expect. Don't have anything special for the 1M at the moment, sorry. Fallboy 1020, go crazy, right on. No, yeah, I don't know, man. You might try rebooting and just going at it fresh. You probably already have. I'm not sure. Mine hasn't done that more than once or twice. When it says race canceled, I just try again, and it usually works. Shannon, yeah, I hear you for getting used to cars. Every time I download a new pack or a new car, it's a whole new thing. For sure. There's always a little bit of adjusting. I only started drifting on a wheel a few months ago, so I'm fresh to it all, but I'm learning quickly. Yeah, wheel is a different ballgame. Were you on controller before? It's so different because on controller you can go from lock to lock like that, and on wheel it physically takes a while to turn the wheel, so you have to drive differently. You have to predict when the car needs counter steer and start feeding it in kind of in advance from what you can do with controller, where you can just, like, you know, lightning steer to full lock all the time. It says I'm going to send a video of what it's doing in the AC chat. Hey Wokta, the server is Just Drift, and we are running Suzuka Twin with the WDT pack. I've got a CSL PS4, but I think I have some hand burns from the standard wheel. Yeah, this is a nice, smooth, just painted wood wheel, so it slips through my hands really easily. I generally like just a real leather. I'm not a big fan of the Alencarda, or however you say the glove suede leather. Oh, that is another thing. Make sure that you have the official Assetto JDM pack. I know, good call, Swampgoat. There are issues that I used to have where I thought I'll just download a modded JDM 8.6 and S-Chassis, but I had to get that in order for most of the mods to work. I'm going to go shred a little bit. Yeah, the server is called Just Drift, and it's being run by Flow. We've got 5 cars in here right now running Suzuka Twin with the WDT Street pack. Oh boy, one of the OTM guys has joined us. As I just drive through the spectators. I'm not in a Mustang, I can't do that. Oh, too fast. Oh, Warfare. I didn't realize you were with OTM. Oh, yeah. If I wasn't doing my own thing, I'd probably try to join your crew as well. You guys shred. I feel like my channel has a mix, but it's kind of more for the learners. Ah. No good. I'm not used to being in second right there, and it threw off everything. Ebrake drag for days. And a little bonk. I'm going to change my camera set. Oh god, my camera setup. I have no idea what I just did. I'm going to change my camera setup once I finalize my display situation for my stream, so that I can show you guys my shifter and handbrake a little bit too. I'm going to try to get like an over-the-shoulder cam going. I thought that there was a cutout right here. Clearly there's not. But I'm gonna cheat and sneak through here. Oh, overtime. Server ended. That'll do it. 53-second countdown. Let's do the top track. Okay, I'm no good at the top track, but I'm down. I can follow you guys and figure it out. Yeah, you're right, Swamp. The WDT pack does use the Hachiroku, the 8.6. Deciphered says, should I get another wheel for drifting, rally, and such? I play different disciplines. I personally don't think so. I mean, if you like the feel of your wheel, I would just use that with all the different ones. Unless that just makes you happy to, you know, have like a drift spec wheel and a rally spec wheel. The only thing I'd say is different is if you want to do like Formula One or whatever the like pro touring car wheels are, where they're like flat bottom wheels, then yeah, you might want to get a wheel like that if you really want to get a good sim. But that's just my 2 cents. Is there a way to hard reset Content Manager? Not that I know of. I mean, if you close it and restart it, that ought to work, and if that doesn't work, a full restart of your machine is all that you can really do. Alright, so we're going to go up top. Top track. The track that I suck at because I never practice it. It's called Suzuka Twin Drift because there are 2 tracks. And you would so get kicked out of the premise for drifting through the pits like I'm doing. But here we are. And hopefully by following flow I can figure out this top track somewhat okay. It's tight. It feels tight. I'm straight up using car radar. I cannot even see him. Okay, so I took that kind of wide. I should probably be in third right here, but then quickly back down to second. Thank you for telegraphing that braking move. Too busy watching flow driving to see the track, so I'm sort of cutting the grass. Alright, so it's a short track. It shouldn't take me that long to learn it. Come on, car. Third gear, please. Nope. No luck on third gear. So, don't bother going into third unless your line is good. Should have adjusted him earlier than that. I killed too much speed, so I couldn't float the car into a good position. Flo does not mind to do those big Ebrake drags. So I've got to use them too to match the amount of like speed that he's carrying. We both kind of flubbed that for various reasons. If you fail at left foot braking, you actually end up locking the fronts. And oh, I should have stayed in third. Locking the fronts and the car steers straight, and it sucks. I just demonstrated what that looks like. Oh, and I've wiped out. Oh man, that is fun. That's a hard little track. Harder than it looks. Deciphered says, I like F1, GT3, and Rally Drift. I have the stock wheel from Fanatec. By the way, the stock wheel is rubbing on my hands. Yeah, the especially if you're like doing a lot of drifting, it will wear out your hands. Yeah man, I'd say get a wheel that you like. It sounds like you're going to be playing a lot, and so you can really enjoy sitting down and checking out your sim rig and being like, yes, I have this badass wheel. Whatever you like. Like, I've got this JDM Matsuri wheel on mine, and then I have a, oh hey guys. I've got a Nardi Torino in my real life drift car. Ooh, just too busy looking at car radar. I should probably move that app to be more centered so that I can just see it without having to take my eyes completely off the screen. Oh yeah! There's nothing like tucking in right behind somebody, getting hard onto the brakes and missing shifts and oh, that was red. Oh, I'm way off. I'm just going to reinitiate. That was some of the best single monitor drifting that I've ever done. Oh, I'm sorry, bro. That was my fault. Too hard. My fault. Power shift up to third, which is high on the list of things I don't actually do in my real car. I forgot to shift down to second in time though and screwed myself. Oh. Getting too excited. Whew. Gotta take a break. Glad to see folks joining the server though, that's right. How are we doing on time? $11:56. We are getting close to midnight. Pred Rider, dude, that was sick. Oh, that was me. That was following you. Hell yeah. That was awesome. That was definitely some of the best. I mean, it was just like 2 turns, but still, that was some of the best tandems I've done. And yeah, only using Content Manager is the way to go. Yeah, it is weird that you could join the Tomato server and not this one. The only other thing I can think of is apparently there's 2 different versions of Suzuka Twin, and Flo is using one by what's his name on like the Facebook Assetto Corsa Drift community, Black Velvet, I think it is. This is his username. So yeah, you might check for that. Unfortunately, like this sort of troubleshooting is not my strong suit. Like I'm kind of a computer nerd, but I'm lucky and it works for me. 11:57 here, same for me, Warfare. Yeah, it's super late. I'm gonna cut a few more laps and then probably call it a night. If you guys have anything you want to chat about, as I usually do, basically I'll say, hey, I'm getting ready to bounce, and I'll cut a few laps, give people a chance to chat in, and if there's anything that you want to talk about or hear me, share my thoughts on before we call it a night, then I'll do that, and if not, then we will. 6:57, killer, bro. That is some early morning stuff. But I love seeing that we have like a world community, everybody coming out from all over the place, and it's cool seeing it all. Me, I'm in Oklahoma presently. I live in Oklahoma City at the moment. I get out to Texas every year, sometimes Kansas, usually Florida every year, and yeah, then other places too. New Mexico, I drift out of New Mexico every year as well. So I like to travel up and meet the fam. But yeah, guys, chat in if you want. I'm going to cut a few more laps here, and then we'll call it. Pro driver behind me. Oh, neutral bomb. That was not what I meant to do at all. Sorry. I've not even done any lead laps on this track, so we'll see how I can manage to do when I'm not able to follow somebody. I feel like I can do the straight pretty nicely at least. Down to second. Oh man, the car gets squirrely. I get onto the gas too hard in second on those downshifts. I can't figure out, well, that's not true. But I experience difficulty deciding how much clutch kick I want to give the car. When I'm coming back onto throttle. Oh man, it was way easier to follow than it is to drive this track in the lead. I have no idea where I'm going. I'm probably terrible to follow right now, but that's how we learn. Into the trees because nature. Man, that was awful. We'll pick him up as he comes around the straight, or we'll just cut through the track. That works too. Damn it. Yeah, I'm experiencing an exceptional level of difficulty with this, even though I was fine in tandem. It's probably in part because it's late and I'm tired. Maybe I didn't actually learn the track after all. I always tell my buddies that are drifting in real life that, like, if you can't link the track well and consistently solo, then you really have no business trying to tandem yet. And, like, if you're good, that's not necessarily a requirement, but if you're learning, you're going to learn a lot more and a lot faster if you are just focusing on the track, which is what I'm now having the opportunity and challenge of doing. You're way out in the dirt. But I'm starting to figure out, like that this turn, for example, you don't need to go super tight because it's a dual apex. And this turn, you do need to go super tight, not that tight, because otherwise you're going to plow into the wall. And then you can link this straight with a nice upshift to third. And the most probably epic dirt drop ever. Oh, nice. Little tap. Oh, and I stayed in it too hard. My fault. I could have saved that. Sorry, I'm distracted looking at the mini-map and trying to figure out where everybody's at. But all the black dots are in the rearview mirror right now, so I can't actually see. I was trying to see if Pro Driver was behind me, but I think he must have gone to the pits. Oh well, we'll just send it for a couple more laps. Eesh. Man, my car's doing some weird stuff. Maybe tire wear is turned on. Maybe I'm just tired and I suck now. I don't know. So down to second. We'll run out of revs. Bounce up to third for just a moment. When you start to see the rumble stripping, it's onto the foot brake to slow the car down and not shoot off the side. You can carry a fair bit of speed through this transition because it's a dual apex turn. And this one is as well, but it's a tiny one. So you almost don't even notice it. The main thing is to come in tight on the apex at the end so that you don't bash into the wall. Up to third on transition. A little bit of foot brake. I needed to give more because I'm going to hit these saplings. And as a result, I had to go back down to second early, but I don't think that you have to. And then again, when you see that rumble striping, rumble strips, whatever, curb, you can shift back down to second with some heavy foot brake to slow the car down. Try to get a little wall tap there. More foot brake this time, so that we don't go into the trees. Down to second because of a foot brake, back up to third. That would be super annoying to do in real life. Very gentle because I was in the dirt the entire time. Still not having the most precise lines. Not driving as well as I could through there. We'll go for the wall tap. Oh, missed it. That was close. Had to be close. And I've just given up and accepted the fact that I'm going to have to do that weird third, second move through that first turn. I could go adjust the gearing of the car. Got distracted, did an off-throttle transition and failed to float the car out, so I was all up on that rumble strip. And then the car just randomly spun. With a neutral bomb. Yep, I'm definitely getting tired, but that's alright. We'll cut a few more laps. No Ebrake challenge. We'll try and do a couple laps, no Ebrake. Let's see it. So the trick to that is going to be getting our transitions pretty close to right so that we can survive using only throttle adjustments. So up to third. Fair bit of foot brake onto throttle quickly to protect the amount of angle that we need to get around this turn. Coasting instead of foot braking. I mean, you can still foot brake. That's not really relevant. I just chose to coast because I saw it early. And that completes that lap. And thank you, Thomas, Rocky, and probably fine gentleman from Russia, I'm gonna guess. Sorry, I can't read your username, but thank you for the subscription. Welcome to the channel. We are glad to have you. Hope to see you in the comments of future edited videos as well. I've got some cool stuff on the way, and you guys are helping me get close to breaking the 5,000 subscriber milestone for the channel, and I'm so excited about that. I have decided to pull the trigger on a pretty big purchase for the sim to take it to the next level when we hit 5K. I'll probably also do a small giveaway, nothing big because I'm still not a big channel, but just a little something to show my appreciation for the support of the initial 5,000 members of the Kame Trick International Drift Team. There was that wall tap, and we're dead. Oh god. Oh god. Ah! I'm so tired. That's alright. Is it Gran Turismo? Or Grand Theft Auto, I mean. Yep, it's GTA. We can still go right up the hill. I'm gonna send it off one of these mountains for my last lap. Let's do it. Let's get a huge run ago and just go blasting down onto whatever is below. Probably a whole lot of nothing. That's alright. Alright, here we go. Let's get ready to send it! They put a wall! They put a wall! It's the Trump border wall. That's what it is, yeah. Alright. Oh, back pain. So good. Decipher, do I drift in loafers in real life? Not usually. Usually it's tennis shoes for me. New Balance, like old school Initial D. But loafers sometimes. I usually wear shoes, even though I'm just at my own house, but I like to simulate the actual condition of driving. Occasionally you'll find me driving in like Japanese sandals, the wooden ones, just goofy stuff. So can you learn to drift with sim like in real life? Yes, you absolutely can. I know plenty of people who have only driven in sim, one of which, Vortex, who was in the live chat earlier, I've actually let drive my car. I didn't let him out on full onto the track, but I let him do like the figure eights, and I mean, first try, perfect, no issues. So it's really about learning the input and the timing and when to do what, and you can absolutely learn that on a driving sim. I've only drifted one time in IRL, and it was easier than drifting with a G25. Got a Fanatec drifting with an Assetto Corsa with a BMW 1M. Yes, drifting in real life is way easier than drifting in sim, in my opinion. Once you know what you're doing, that is. And the reason is, when you're drifting in sim, you are basically operating in a vacuum unless you have a super expensive motion rig. So like, for me, you know, when I turn, I don't get moved around in the seat or anything. Like, it just sits here. When you transition to real life, you're gonna find a lot of this, and it's gonna feel really crazy for a while. But the cool thing about that is, once you adapt and probably get a good harness and restraint system to hold you in the car, you're actually going to have a whole another piece of data to tell you what to do and when to do it. So just like a sim drifter relies on the force feedback coming out through the steering wheel, a real life drifter gets that through the wheel. They feel that in the seat. You can feel what the back wheels are doing independent from the front wheels, and all that extra information makes it a lot easier. Plus, in your case, your counter steer will actually work correctly, and with your Logitech wheel, it's probably going to be slower than it would be in a real car. Oh, Pro Rider, I was trying to get ahead. Yeah. Oh. Apparently my car has started moving, or maybe somebody's bumped into me. I have no idea. It's funny. It's off screen, so you guys can't see it. I've still got Assetto up. Tire wear is at 70%. Okay, so that's what it was. I was gonna say, I felt really confident for a while, but I think I stayed on the same tires that entire session. So towards the end of it, I was just having a terrible time, and I thought it was me. But some of it was probably that the tires were well and truly dead. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It just takes time and practice to get the hang of it. But I would say focus on sim, and when you get to where you're linking tracks pretty consistently in sim, and for me, like, it helps me, even though I'm an experienced driver, to practice my tandems without any risk. Like, I don't dive in on people that hard. Well, I mean, you can see in some of these clips, I don't dive in on people that hard in real life, because I respect their car and their property. I don't want to hit them. And also, I'm super lazy, and I don't want to fix my car. Like, it sucks. I like to drive. I don't like to wrench. I like to drive. I just happen to wrench because it saves money. But you can get into it. Noah, I was never able to get that to work. Sorry, man. But yeah, great stream. Thank you. I appreciate it. And hopefully you can tandem with me next Friday. And feel free to request tracks to me and Vortex and ResDog as well. That's pretty much the crew that controls the server. So we can make sure that you're able to join the server before the stream, so that way you won't have any trouble coming in and sliding with us. That'd be cool. RX Strifey, oops, I subbed from my other channel. I'm actually Greek. That was Greek characters. Oh, okay. That's cool. Yeah, I have not seen, I don't think I've really seen too much Greek characters. I'm into, well, mostly like Japanese language and Japanese culture, but because of that experience, I have a general appreciation for like all sorts of language systems and things like that. Not that I have an understanding of them, but just, you know, knowing, you probably are in the same boat, knowing more than one language changes the way that you look at it. And so it's, even if I'm not going to try to learn it, it's just neat to see and neat to learn the basic concepts about it. So, right on. Well, thank you for the sub, or double subs, maybe. Deciphered asks, what car am I driving? Real life, I have a Nissan S13 or a 91 240SX, and in sim right now, I've been using an S13 Coupe on the WDT Street pack. It's a new pack that just came out, and I quite like it. Road Rider says, if you even come to Texas, can you let me in your car? Yeah, absolutely. I'll certainly take you for a spin. If you want to drive it, that might be another story, but I'll probably come down next year. And I guess all I can do now is Texas Motor Speedway with full lock drift, or sorry, with Lone Star drift. That's probably the easiest place for me to get to, and I've not driven TMS yet, but I'd love to crash my car there. That would be really fun to send it off the side of the track. So, 4th gear, 100-mile-an-hour entries, I am down to try it. I've ridden with several folks there, and it is intense, and I think it'd be pretty fun to learn. Simple once you've learned it, but fun to learn. Jeremy asks, how much later am I driving? I'm actually wrapping up tonight, Jeremy. I usually stream for 3 or 4 hours on Friday nights. I start somewhere around 8 if I'm early, or 9 if I'm on the late side, Central Time. But unfortunately, I'm pretty much ready to call it a night. So, oh, you'll be home in 20. Sorry, I'm going to miss you this time, but next Friday night, look for me, and I'll be on again. Deciphered says I have a Fanatec now, CSL Elite with the load cell handbrake. The load cell handbrake is sick too. Vortex has the CSL Elite, and he does great. I mean, he's way better than me in sim. Like, very consistent. I'll have my moments where I shred really hard in sim, but a lot of the times, and I think really it's because I have a single monitor right now. So I have a single monitor, I'm not using real head motion, and I can't see out the side of the car. So I can't like get up like this on people. I have to stay like back here so that I can still see them, and subconsciously it messes with how I would tandem. But hopefully soon, spoiler alert, when we hit 5K, that'll be fixed. I really hope to be able to afford a 350Z or something though, so I can finally get IRL driving. Only done it in my old Miata years ago. Yeah, man. The Miatas are fun cars, but such small wheelbases, they're super, super tricky unless you get a good angle kit on there. And the 350 is an excellent choice. That's honestly, if I wreck my 240 at some point and it's just totally killed, it's going to be either a Vet or a 350 as well. It's one of the best moves out there, and the 350Z is a tank, so you can really bash into 3 or 4 of my S13s without crippling a Z, and you would destroy every S13. Hey, it's Fuji Speedway. They have a drift track at Fuji Speedway, like the skid pad. Have I ever been to Gulf Greyhound Park? No, I've not been to GGP yet. It's just such a long drive. I'm a little torn about going all the way down there just to be at a parking lot event. If I go that far, I'd probably be more likely to go to that, I think it's the Houston Police Academy, or the police training track. I would like to drive there. We've got some tracks like that here in Oklahoma as well that are pretty cool. Yeah, man, Deciphered single monitor setup, nothing wrong with it. I've been rocking mine for about half a year, and it was just using the monitor that I already owned for my regular like video editing that you see on this channel. But I had always aspired to either get VR or go triples, so I'm looking forward to doing that very soon. Wink, wink. Noah says, I want to get a big floaty sedan like a LS300 or Safiro. Drift that at full lock. Yeah. Who had a Safiro? My buddy Dennis Wheeler. I think he's up near Tulsa area. He's got an 8.6 and he had a Safiro at one point. I think it was a Sphero. I helped him translate the deregistration certificate from Japanese back into English so he could get it registered and drive it on the streets. I think he sold it, but anyway, they're cool cars and rare. Of course, if you drift those, you probably want to solo drift so that you don't risk like getting into an accident and having to fix it, because that would suck having a JDM car that you can't even get parts for easily here. But it would be cool. RX Stripey says S13s here in Greece are expensive. Yeah, the S13 is such a good. It's a beautiful car, and they feel great. So many good parts for them. I was surprised, because I've talked to a few people that have asked me for car recommendations that are like in Europe or around the world, and I always recommend S13s as an option, but apparently they are pretty expensive in some places. So I would imagine in your case maybe the BMW is a better choice, or because I've even heard 350Zs are kind of expensive. Just depends on where you're at. Noah asks if I've been to Mid-Pond. I have driven Mid-Pond in Sim at this point, which is, you know, one of those things where can Sim help you in real life? Absolutely, because now if I go to Mid-Pond, I'll know the track, and I know that I can do pretty well there, and I think my car can do pretty well there too. I haven't driven there in real life. I'd like to, but it is kind of a haul, and I would have to organize my schedule in order to do that. I can only go to like a 6 to 8 hour away place once or twice a year right now. Next year I might cut the number of like local events I'm doing somewhat significantly in exchange for being able to go out to farther away events with a truck and trailer, but we'll see. Hey Flo, yeah, that was a ball. You're really good. It was awesome to follow you. I was really trash, but I promise that I'll get better, and it'll help when I can see out the side windows too. Yeah, we'll have to do that again for sure. Hopefully we can find a time that overlaps a little easier. I don't want you to have to get up at like 7 a.m. to be able to slide with me, but I appreciate that you did. Yeah, couple Laurels. Yep. Suiso, sim drifting. Suiso means tandem or chase running. All S-chassis cars are expensive near me as well. FCs and FB RX-7s are really cheap. Right on. 350Zs, also expensive for sure on the S14. Wow, 24,000 euros. Who thinks the 1M is a good beginner car in Assetto Corsa? For drift, that's a good point. S13's here in the US, you can probably, like if you want a shitty one that's all destroyed like that, you could probably find it for 2K, but to get one that's in reasonable shape, I would say plan to spend 4,000 or 5,000 US. And of course you can buy somebody else's project car, and then if you don't mind to spend, you know, 8 or 10, heck, for 10 you can get a car that's already got an angle kit and like a V8 swap or something crazy. So that's always one of the best ways, if you don't mind the fact that you're not actually building the car yourself. Hey man, good night dude. It was awesome to drive with you, and it's always cool seeing people move from chat to stream. And when you guys do, hit me up in the chat with your driver name, because it always takes me a second to realize, like, oh look, this is who this is. So yeah, that was rad. That was a good time. Otherwise, good drift mods for the game. Last question before we go. So as far as actual performance is concerned, my favorites are the DW Wisefab cars, the WDT pack, the WDT Street pack, which is what we were driving tonight, the DTP cars, and sometimes I enjoy Tando Buddies as well. And if you're learning, I think Tando Buddies are a good car because they transition slowly. A lot of people hate on them because it's unrealistically slow, but it's kind of like the bullet time of drifting, so you can learn how to get all your inputs right. So if you're having trouble spinning and you're not figuring it out, try Tando, and the slower pace of the cars might make some things gel for you. That'd be something that I would try. And the cars never came to the Greek market, and so they're rare and expensive. Yeah, rarity is totally a word. The rarity of a car, absolutely. Alright fam, I'm going to call it a night. Thank you for watching, thank you for the likes, I've enjoyed the chat. Be sure to check out the other videos on my channel if you're new here especially. I've got an IRL drifting playlist, I've got a sim drifting playlist as well. And occasionally you'll even see me doing a computer build or car maintenance, building the sim rig that I'm sitting in right now. I've got coverage of all those things and more. I try to get out one edited video per week and one stream per week as well. But there will be always at least one video per week for you guys to enjoy. So thanks for watching. Thanks for introducing my channel to your other car friends so that we can continue to grow and do more rad stuff. Have a good night, guys. Peace.